Hello, my dear children. Today we are going to discuss about verbs. What are verbs? Words that tell what a person, animal, or thing does are called action words or doing words. That is, if a person does some action, if an animal does some action, or if a thing does some action, so the words which show these actions are action words or doing words. And these words can be also called as verbs. Let's look at the examples. The first one, Rohan eats apples. In this sentence, we have a person named Rohan, and what is he doing? He is eating the apples. So here the action word is eats. So the verb is eats. Eats is the action done by the person Rohan. Look at the next example. Monkeys climb trees. So we have the animal monkeys. And what are the monkeys doing? They are climbing trees. So climbing is the action done by the monkeys. So climb is the verb or action word. One thing you have to keep in mind is verbs are of two kinds. We have two kinds of verbs, and the first one is main verbs and the second one is helping verbs. Now let's find out what main verbs are. Main verbs are the important verbs in the sentence. They show the action or state of being of a subject. That means in a sentence, if there is a main action done by the subject, then that verb is a main verb. Subject can be a person, an animal, or a thing. Okay, subject is a person, an animal, or a thing. So the main actions done by the subject are main verbs. Now let's look at the examples. We have the same examples here. Rohan eats apples. The subject is Rohan and Rohan is a person. What is he doing? He is eating apples. So eats is the main verb. It's the main action done by the subject Rohan. Look at the next example. Monkeys climb trees. Here the subject is monkeys. And what are the monkeys doing? They are climbing trees. So climb is the main action done by the subject monkeys. So climb is the main verb. So main verbs can be like, for example, dance, sing, run, jump, skip, eat, like we said, write, read. A lot of main actions done by the subject, that is person, animal, or thing. Those action words can be main verbs. Now let's look at what helping verbs are. Helping verbs are the verbs which help the main verbs. We have in the name itself helping verbs. That means they are somewhat helping. Yes or no? So helping verbs are the verbs which help the main verb. That means they help the main verb. Look at the example. Saloni is watching cartoons. In this sentence, actually watching is the main verb and is the helping verb. Watching is the main verb and is the helping verb. Look at the next sentence. The children are sleeping. In this sentence, sleeping is the main verb and are is the helping verb. So, the helping verb is helping the main verb watching, and in the next sentence, the helping verb are is helping the main verb sleeping. So, they are helping the main verb so that the sentence would be more meaningful. It helps us to find out when the action is done. That's how helping verbs help the main verbs. And let's look at some of the helping verbs here. Some of the helping verbs are is, am, are, was, were, has, had, have, will, shall, may, might, should, would, ought to, etc. So there are a lot of helping verbs. Actually, I have given only a few. There's one more thing you have to find out, and this you have to keep in mind. We use am with I. Okay, if in a sentence it has I, then we use am. Okay, I am 8 years old. I am a teacher. I am a student. Okay, so am we always use with I. Now the next one. With singular nouns or singular pronouns, like singular nouns with Rohan and monkey, okay, and Saloni, okay, and with pronouns like he, she, it. Okay, so with singular nouns and singular pronouns, we use these helping verbs, that is, was, has, had, will, shall, may, can, might, should, would, could, etc. That means if one person is there in the sentence, that is, if the subject is singular, then we use these helping verbs. Now let's find out if the subject is plural, what happens. If the subject is plural, that is if it's plural nouns or plural pronouns, then we have to use are, were, have, had, will, shall, may, might, should, could, would, etc. So with plural, if there are more than one person, if the nouns are plural or the pronouns are plural, then we have to use these helping verbs. And I hope you understood this. So mainly verbs are action words or doing words, and verbs are of two kinds. Main verbs, the main action is done by the subject, and the second one is helping verbs. Helping verbs help the main verbs, and these points you have to keep in mind, that is am we use with I. If there is one person, that is if the subject is singular, we use these helping verbs, that is, was, has, had, will, shall, may, can, might, should, would, could, etc. And if the subject is plural, then we use are, were, have, had, will, shall, may, might, should, could, would, etc. In the case of the helping verbs has and have, we have some things that we have to keep in mind. Let's look at it. Has or have are used to show belonging or possession. That if something belongs to someone, then we use has if it's singular, and if the subject is plural, then we use have. It tells us what a person or a thing has. Example, I have many toys. So here the toys is possessed by I. Okay, I have many toys. Next sentence, she has a bat. So the thing bat is possessed by a person. Okay, so when something belongs to someone and when we talk about that, we use the helping verbs has or have. Has if the subject is singular, and have if the subject is plural. Next, in the case of negative sentences, the helping verbs are followed by not. In the case of negative sentences, that is, we make negative sentences by using not. Okay, so in the case of negative sentences, the helping verbs are followed by not. Sometimes we do not write two separate words, instead we write one single word. So when we add not, what happens is these two words become one word, and that's what it's about. Now let's look at the examples. Have plus not is haven't. Look at here. We have written the short form of haven't, that is in the have is one word and not is another word. When we write it, when we are writing it together, what happens is becomes one word, it's one single word, and in the place of O we use the apostrophe. Next word, has not. Has plus not, hasn't. It become one word. Is plus not is isn't. Will plus not is won't. So this is what happens when we deal with the negative sentences. So please turn your textbooks to chapter 12, and that it's about verbs. So it's just very easy. You just have to read the exercises and you can just find the answers, and I'll be sending you the notes in the afternoon. You can check them. So this is for today. Take care and bye.